Hello and welcome back to our sixth episode of Head Teacher to Ironman. After a break last week, we are back ready to go. And with only 4 months until the big event, we are looking forward to our new summer term. Don't forget to uh, don't forget if you have any questions for us, you can leave them in the comments of our any of our videos, and we can use them in the future episodes. So, Mr. Twist, with exactly 4 months today until the Copenhagen Ironman, how are you feeling about the race?
Um, I'm feeling like I've got a lot of work to do. I'm feeling like it's a very long way and it's a very big race, and that I need to work really hard to be ready.
Did you achieve all your planned workouts over the recent Easter holiday?
I think so. I think I got all my planned workouts in. I did some running on some really nice trails. I did some cycling around the Surrey Hills. I got all my swim workouts in. It was a bit weird doing it in an unstructured way because I wasn't working. I didn't have certain days where I was doing certain things. So it almost felt like I was doing less than I normally do. But when I looked at it on paper, I wasn't. It was fine. So yeah, I got all the planned workouts in.
What are your training priorities for the next few months?
Training priorities. I said in the middle video that I did last week, because we weren't doing a proper episode, that I need to become a cyclist, and I think that's the most important. I think the cycle leg is so important, and I just now need to become a cyclist. I need to be doing a lot more cycling. I need to be doing higher distance cycling. I need to prioritize those workouts and make sure that I'm kind of consistently hitting those. So that's the number one key priority to making sure I'm ready. Two, I think consistency. I need to be consistent in my training throughout the whole next 4 months. And I need to be consistent with my diet and with building my body up, rather than having periods of time where I kind of feel that I deserve a break. And then can kind of slide back a bit in my fitness. It's about just building and building and building now all the way to the event, so that I'm strong and fit enough to do it properly and safely.
So let's take a look at Mr. Twist's training update from this week.
The second ride of the summer term, not a very exciting one, because I've got my racing bike off the turbo after the winter and back on the main road. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a difference between how many e-bikes I can beat on this as opposed to my cheap old school rally. I'm looking forward to it. And it's 6 o'clock. Weather is still very nice, it's bright, sun's out. Should be a good ride home. Have a good one. And done. That was banging. So whether it's the bike, I'll be back on that bike, or if you're fresh after holiday, that was the quickest time I got back. West to East London, 30 minutes, average speed 26 kilometres an hour, which for those of you Surrey cyclists are probably thinking it's not that quick. Well, A, for me that's quick, and B, all the traffic lights and traffic and everything through London, that's rapid. Pleased with that. But it's only a relatively short distance, about 15k. But nice way to end the day. Have a good evening. Just finished a 18k run, 5.5 minute pace, average pace. Pleased with that. Now we're just getting crepes from there. Vicky Park's great on a Sunday. I had the lovely Miranda pacing me and fueling, which is great. I'll cut in the video here. Don't fall off.
Try not to.
And now we're just going to chill for the rest of the day. We'll rest and relax before back to work tomorrow. And then tomorrow I think I'm going to cycle home from college to Woking all the way.
So I'm not sure if I've got sat nav for that route or how that's going to go. It'll be the first time I've done it. And the second time I've done it, although the first time was a complete disaster, middle of winter, ended up getting hopelessly lost. But for the weekend, I had a bit of a niggle yesterday, so I didn't do my planned ride. My knee was sore. I thought rather than push it and actually get an injury, I'm going to rest it. Do the run today, actually felt fine, and then do the cycle tomorrow, cycling home. Should be about a 2-hour cycle home, but I'll probably go via the gym, do a spin class or an extra hour or so on the spinning bike to get the miles in the legs tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of Sunday. See you soon.
Mr. Twist, over the holiday you received new training kit and mentioned how expensive the triathlon is. Hope you now got everything you need, or is there still stuff that you need to buy?
Yeah, how expensive is triathlon? It is quite. I don't think it has to be expensive. It doesn't have to be, and I'd really not want anyone not to think about getting out and swimming and riding and running because they're worried about the cost. Most triathlons any bike will do. There's lots of sprint distance, Olympic distance ones where you can get round. Sprint distance starts, I think it's about 20k, and you can do that on a mountain bike comfortably or a hybrid bike comfortably. It doesn't have to be expensive, but you do get a bit sucked up into tech, and so now I'm looking at aero wheels, and I want kind of faster wheels, and but that isn't a necessity. I am using my bike, my race bike now more for training, and I think I've got everything I need. I've got most of the clothing. I do need to get a GPS or a bike computer, but again, you can get them fairly reasonably priced. Have I got everything I need? I've got a wetsuit, but I had that already. But if I didn't have, I would have to buy that. I think my mum bought that for me, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And luckily, I can still fit into it. But so I think I have everything I need. I'm not going to get a new bike. I'm not going to get an aero bike. I'm going to fit aero bars to my bike, which is over there. I've got a new tri-suit coming with all our logos and things. So I think when you start out, it's quite expensive if you need to buy a road bike and shoes and all the bits and pieces. But I actually have everything already because I cycle a bit. And then it's just temptation, like any hobby. When you start getting into things, you just don't want a pair of shoes. You want the pair of shoes you want, and you don't just want a phone. You want the new iPhone, or and it's in sport, the technical requirements and the promises of free speed can be quite tempting. But then when you look at the price of £1,000 for a set of wheels, you're like, I have wheels on my bike; they are fine. I think I'm about there. I'm not going to need to spend any more money.
Finally, what do you think that have been your biggest lessons learned throughout your first 4 months of structured training?
Lessons learned. I think it's what I said earlier about consistency, and being consistent allows everything else to happen. Because if you're consistent, you can then build your training and you can start improving and you can get stronger. I think if there's any break in that consistency, it's compounded when you're trying to get ready for an event like this, because not only can you not continue with the plan in the same way, but your fitness goes back, and then you've got to extend the time it's going to take you to get where you want to be. So I think one thing is consistency. But then related to that, I think it's not being too hard on yourself when you can't get everything in, and you've got to let some sessions go, and you've got to try and be a decent human being as well. Otherwise there were times where I found myself becoming a real grump because something got in the way of me being able to kind of work my plan in the way I wanted to. So I think being gentle with yourself when it isn't possible to be as consistent as you like. I think I've probably learned it's the only Ironman I'll do. It's just such a big commitment. But I would like to already have something else planned, and whether it's more fundraising in a different activity and we do it in this way, or whether we stop all of this, and I don't know yet, but I think I've learned that I'm probably a one and done, rather than going to be competing for any world records. But we'll see. We'll see what it's like, and maybe I'll come back as an age grouper after a few years of mid distance or something. And I've learned a lot about that I can relate to and support students with about preparing for exams and preparing for important events over time. My daughter at the minute is doing her GCSEs, and I think she's more consistent with her studying than I've been with my training. She's doing a little bit every single day, and she's built that up. And now she's doing hours of prep every day. And I'm really proud of how she's stuck with that all that time, because me just seeing what that's like riding a bike every day, it's hard to be consistent. So for students that have got a whole year and everyone's telling them all the time how important it is, how important it is, how important it is, they know how important it is. All people take their exams seriously and big things seriously. Just telling someone it's really important isn't actually supporting them to put the work in, to find space to be consistent and to build and grow their brain and their learning and their memory in a way that they need to recall properly in exams and get properly prepared for exams. So I'm still learning loads. We're literally halfway through the structured training now. And I think I'll finish where we kind of started. What I've learned is that I still have a long way to go to be ready to safely compete and complete the Ironman. And so this next 4 months is really crucial that I just focus on that and get it done.
Thank you once again for watching Head Teacher to Ironman. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And most importantly, click on the link in the comments below to support our worthy organizations and all of the amazing work they are doing. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.